Hi everyone, and welcome to the My Message podcast. My name is Kyia Mochitani, and I'm your host for today's episode. Every episode, it'll be me right here. And on the My Message podcast, we're working to make our messy life our message. So, hello everybody. Welcome back to the pod. I am so excited for today's episode because I think that it needs to be said and it needs to be brought light, and I just think it's so important. And it is 10 green flags in a friend. 10 green flags in a friendship. And before we even talk about those 10 things that I thought about, I just want to say that I think friendships are so important because it literally has something to do with every part of our life. I don't know if any of you have ever had, friendship struggles, or struggle finding a group of friends, or struggle within a group of friends, or struggles having girlfriends. So I'll be the first to say I struggled a lot finding and keeping friends. I wasn't always the best of friend, but I also wasn't always treated the right or the best, right? And so I think friendships dictate so much of our life throughout our whole life. You can even say it'll start in elementary school, and then middle school, and then high school, and then college, and then post-college, and then when you become a mom, and then after you become a mom or a dad, and then when you're a mom or dad, and then when you're a grandparent. Like, friendships literally dictate all part of our life, our entire life. And so I think it really needs to be talked about how to find a good friend, or what qualities to look for in a friend, because I remember having friendship struggles, and literally it would make me cry, or it would make me so anxious, and it would eat me up alive whenever I wasn't on good terms with a friend. And then everybody else would know that I wasn't on good terms. So it literally just was such an awful feeling. And like I said, I'll be the first to admit, I struggled finding good girlfriends. I struggled keeping friends. Not saying it was all their fault, because I had my own doings with it, but I just want to talk about, what are qualities we should look for in a friend? What is so important? And again, you don't have to follow all 10, but if you think of one, or if I say one and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so true, this friend doesn't hit this bucket and this is so important to me, then maybe it's time to reevaluate that friendship. Or maybe it's time that we look a little deeper, or we really see what friendships are serving us and what aren't, which ones are toxic, which aren't, and everything like that. And so recently I just toured back at my old college town, and let me tell you, it taught me so much. I realized, one of the biggest reasons as to why Ole Miss maybe didn't work out for me is because I felt like I didn't have that best friend that was with me or got me like most people that I saw had their best friend. I felt like I didn't have that, and I was missing out on that. And so times got so lonely, and going back and seeing, my old friends, they struggle with the same thing too. So still, right? And so especially in a college town, I feel like when, there's a lot more reliability in a friend, or there's a lot more going on, friendships are so important, and can make or break your whole high school experience, or your college experience, or whatever it is. So let's just get on with it. Enough of my intro. I can talk for hours. You know me. Okay. Number one, and these are in no particular order at all. Number one is they want you to succeed. They cheer you on when you get that position, when you get into that team, or when you do something awesome and get recognition for it, or when you have a dream. They cheer you on. They're your supporter. They want you to succeed. They're not envious. They're not jealous. They're excited for you. For instance, when I started this podcast, I wanted my friends to cheer me on and be so excited for me, but some were, some weren't. And so you gotta pick and choose right there. I want people that want to see me do great things. I want to see my friends do great things. I want to see them accomplish their biggest and most wildest dream. And that's, I want that to be reciprocated. Number 2, it is not one-sided. You leave feeling full. You leave feeling like, wow, this person gets me. I get them. They give so much and do so much for me, and I do and give so much to them. It's not just a take kind of friendship. It's a 50-50 kind of team effort. It's, a friendship where when you're out to get coffee, you're like, oh, I'll get your coffee this time. And then they pay for you next time. Or it's they'll call you and then you call them with news, or, you know everything going on in their life and they know everything going on in your life. I don't mean everything if you guys are like the best of friends, but like you at least know, like, where they're at in their life right now in this moment. It just is like the inviting, the texting, the calling, it's reciprocated, right? Like you call them, they call you, you invite them somewhere, they invite you somewhere. And so if you have that friend, I'll put in quotes, that when you guys see each other at school or you're in passing, you guys are so close and so awesome. But when it comes to like being invited to a night out and they invite everyone but you, it's like, okay, then are you really my friend? Is this really serving me? Again, I'm talking more of a best friend in these scenarios, but overall, if you just skim the surface of it, you can think of this all as just a friendship also as well. Maybe not like your best friend, but also a friend. Number 3 is they're reliable. You don't have to worry about them talking about you the second you leave the room. Has anyone ever done that to you? Have you ever done that to somebody? Be honest. Be honest. How'd that make you feel? You feel like what you say doesn't go anywhere. When you say, hey, like this is something I really need to get off my chest, can you not tell anyone? They don't tell anybody. They stick around when time gets tough, when times get tough. They're with you literally at your rock bottom lowest moments. They love you at that moment. They meet you there. They don't just want a friendship that is just sunshines and rainbows and happiness 24/7. And the minute that times get rough, they're absent, they're MIA in your life. Have you ever had a friend like that? It's like when you need them the most, when it's like the most excruciating thing, but you don't want to burden them, but at the same time you really need somebody, and so you confide in them and they can't even show up for you. To me, that's a toxic friend. To me, that's a friend that's not the truest kind of friend. When they say they're going to do something, they do it. When they say, yeah, I can hang out on Monday at 4 p.m. and then they do it. It's not like, oh yeah, let's hang, but you guys never hang out. They say, or they do what they say that they're going to do. Number 4 is they tell you the truth. They're honest with you. They tell you the truth even when it's the hard truth. Even when you want to hear anything but what they're telling you. But you know that you need to hear it. They don't tell you, they're not just honest with you in the sense of like just being blatantly so mean kind of honest when you're not even looking or needing the honesty, but they're honest when you need the honesty. They're honest when they say something that you don't want to hear, but you need to hear it the most. I like to say like, they're not just the yes man. They don't just say yes if you try on an outfit and they're like, you're like, does this look cute? And they're like, yeah, it looks cute. Or when you tell them your side of a story of what happened with your fight with your mom, they don't just say, oh yeah, no, you're so right. Like your mom is this, your mom is that. It's like, no, but if you were acting a fool to your mom, they'll call you out and just say, hey, you shouldn't have said that kind of thing. So they're not just the yes man. Number 5 is they're like-minded. You guys morally align. You know, you align with relationships with your family or your friends or a boyfriend. You align with what you guys do on the weekend and what you guys don't stand for doing, or the things you say or the things you don't say, or maybe you guys spiritually align, or maybe you guys academically align. It's like you guys are like-minded. You guys have the same mindset in the sense of Maybe it's your future. Maybe it's what you do on the weekends. Maybe it's your passions. Whatever it is, you guys morally align, and you guys are like-minded. Number 6 is they're fun. You guys can laugh together. You guys can be quirky. You guys can dance and say funny things and have inside jokes and say the dumbest things, but laugh your booty off and then just have so much fun. And it doesn't always have to be so deep all the time. You guys can, make jokes and laugh without the fear that they're going to judge you, or they're like without the fear of like them thinking like, what is she doing kind of thing, right? So it's like a fun friendship where you can be yourself and you can just let loose and be quirky. Also, if you're on YouTube, I'm drinking this like so amazing drink. I really wish this was sponsored, but it's not. I just have to tell you about it. It's called Kaizos, Kaizos, and it's like a healthy hot chocolate. And so I have it mixed with like warm coconut milk. And oh my goodness gracious, this is like heaven in a cup. Like literally heaven in a cup. I totally like treated myself. I shouldn't have bought this or spent money on it, but it'll last me forever and it makes me happy. And I feel like every time on the pod I have a fun drink. So I feel like that's going to be my new thing, is just having a fun drink. Number 7 is, I think, so important. Like, I think this might be one of the most important ones that I'm going to say, not only in friendships, but I think in every relationship or any relationship in your life. It's they push you to be better. They push you to be better. Always, at all times, whether that be, with my podcast, for instance, like I have a friend Carson, and he helped me create like a weekly posting schedule. And so ever since he helped me with that, I've been able to stay on track and do it. So he's pushing me to help me with my podcast and helping me extend my reach. Or my friend Cal at the gym, like, I don't want to do another set, but Cal's like, no, we're going to do another set, and you're actually going to go heavier on this last set, even though I probably wouldn't have done the other set, or let alone thought about going heavier. So it's like you have that friend that continually just pushes you to be better and better and better, and pushes you to be the best version of yourself. I think that is just like, so important. So important. Number 8 is their understanding. They understand that life happens. They understand that you make mistakes. They understand that you're juggling a million things all in this moment. And if you can't hang out this one particular week, doesn't mean you guys aren't friends, or doesn't mean that you guys need to be in a fight. It's like, oh no, but you don't understand. Like, I actually have a million responsibilities or a million things on my plate right now, and I'm just trying to stay sane or mentally like be okay kind of thing, right? So, they understand. They understand where you're coming from when a disagreement happens. They understand and they want to see the best in you, even when you mess up or even when times get hard. They understand. Number 9, a lot of people actually responded to this one. I posted like a little Instagram question saying like, what qualities do you look for in a friend? And like 90% of people said this quality, and it's that they're good listeners. They listen with the intent to listen. They actively are listening when you're, venting or when you need to get something off your chest. It's not like that friend that isn't there for you when you need them the most. It's not the friend that is like this, yeah, totally get it. And they're just not even looking at you. They're just like, oh yeah, get it. No, they actually just actively listen, and they listen in this moment with the intent to listen to your feelings and to hear you out, to allow space for you to get whatever weight is on your shoulders off your shoulders. I thought that one was really good. It's like, yeah, you need to be an active listener to be a good friend. So good. And number 10 is they're accepting. They love you for you. They appreciate all that you are, not all that you're not. They don't wish you were different. They accept you for all that you are. They don't see, I wish she had this kind of car. Oh, I wish she looked a certain way. Oh, I wish she didn't do that. Oh, I wish she didn't do this, or I wish she would do this, or whatever. it's like, no, but like, you are just so awesome just the way you are. And I love you so much for that. I love you so much for you being simply you. I feel like recently I had the privilege of becoming really close with a new friend, and she's gonna be so embarrassed I'm telling you guys this, but I just love her so much I had to give her a shout out. Her name's Cal, and she's gonna come on the podcast soon, and she has hit literally like every single one of these marks, right? And so I finally feel like, oh my gosh, like especially when most of my friends are back at school, and I remember filming an episode about how lonely I was. She is my answered prayer of like, oh my gosh, she gets me. She is accepting. She is fun. She pushes me to be better. All of these kinds of things. And so I want to encourage you that if you don't have your best friend yet, if you don't feel like you'll ever have that best friend, or if you feel like you've struggled finding close girlfriends, just know that there is hope for you. This is everything. This friendship means everything to me, the more than what like I could have ever wished for, wanted for, dreamed, and more kind of thing. Like, there is still hope for you. You just have to be you, be authentic, be your light, right? Like, be the friend that you want to have to other people. And I promise you, like, God has it in store for you to have that best friend. Like, she is literally like my answered prayer. Like, I would remember praying every single night saying like, Lord, I just pray that like I find like my best friend at home. Like, I just feel so lonely. Like, I don't even have anyone, that's like a girl that like I can share like amazing news with, or like anyone back home. Like, it is so hard. And then boom, we're like best friends, and now we lead a Bible study together, and we have all these dreams, and we are like actively working to get our dreams and chase after them right now in this moment. So I just want to say, like, I have that wasn't even on my notes, but I just have that like on my heart that someone needs to hear that. Like, there is still so much hope for you. And if you struggled growing up, keeping friendships or having close, true friends, I want you to know, like, you aren't alone, number one, and number two, there's hope for you. And the next thing I kind of want to talk about is, I remember being in this lonely season of my life. I filmed an episode about how I'm dealing with this lonely season of my life. And I chose, right? So I chose to be lonely and to be picky with who I surround myself with, because at the end of the day, I would rather be lonely, actively looking for a true, real friend, than have a bunch of toxic friendships that just weigh down on me and that aren't going to last and that aren't real, right, at all. Like, I wouldn't want to put all my time and energy into these friendships that are toxic, that I know aren't going to last, and it's kind of just a waste of energy and a waste of time, rather than, just be lonely on a Friday night. Like, I would much rather do that. So, pick and choose, kind of thing. But that's all I have for today's episode. I hope that you guys enjoyed, maybe got something out of it, and, maybe this is a self-reflection to you of like, oh, am I, a good friend? Am I hitting all of these boxes? And I'll be the first to say, I don't hit all of these boxes all the time. I'm human, but my friends, number 8, they're understanding, and they understand when life happens or life gets in the way, but that's no excuse. But, just know that I love you guys so much. I want to be your bestie for the restie if you guys need a friend. So I just love you so much. I appreciate you, and thank you so much for listening. Seasons get hard with this podcast. Life gets hard, and I just have so much hopes and dreams where I just want to get there so bad. And so I'm just praying that I just do that, and I'm just following the Lord and seeing what he has in store for me. But thank you guys for listening. It really means the whole wide world to me and some. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much. Thanks for listening to this. I love you guys. Have the best day ever. Bye.